So you've decided to move. Yay! A new chapter, a fresh start. Sounds exciting, right? And then reality hits. You're standing in your basement or your garage, alone, staring at decades of stuff, wondering, how did it all get here? And how are you supposed to get it out? If you're here in the Denver suburbs, maybe Littleton, Highlands Ranch, or Parker, you're not just juggling logistics, you're juggling our 90+ degree summer heat with no one to say, hey, maybe we don't need 5 extra casserole dishes. Overwhelmed? Totally normal. That's exactly why I made this video. Because before the stager comes, before the photographer shows up, and definitely before you break down in front of a closet, there are a few things you can do to take the pressure down a notch and actually get started. Stick with me. I promise this will be worth your time and your sanity. And let's be honest, it's summer in Colorado. It's 93 degrees outside, and sorting through boxes in a sweltering garage sounds only slightly more appealing than sitting on I-25 at rush hour. But here's the part no one warns you about. It's not just the heat or the junk drawer, it's the emotional weight behind every decision once you start. Deciding to move is empowering, but what they don't tell you is that what comes next can feel like decision overload, especially if you're doing it alone. You're not just clearing out clutter or emptying out a bookshelf, you're processing memories, letting go of identities, and staring down the things you once thought you'd never part with. And yes, even the dogs are starting to look at you like, where are we going with this, Mom? So how do you begin when it feels like too much? Well, that's where we stop trying to do it all at once and just start somewhere that makes this not perfect, but doable. I'm going to show you a few small steps that can actually move the needle, the ones I've seen work again and again. Plus, I'm going to give you a few less obvious ones that really helped me. In fact, it helped me fill an entire shopping cart full of books I never thought I'd part with. Good news, I survived, and you will too. Now let's start with 4 common tips that actually work. Number 1, start small. Seriously small. Not your whole basement, not even your whole bookcase. Start with 1 drawer, 1 shelf, or 1 box. That's it. I started with my reference shelf, which mostly referenced a past life I'm no longer living. And I hadn't realized how much of a past life it was until I started looking at the dates inside the books. They were decades old. What are you holding on that might remind you of a past life that no longer serves you? Put your comment down below. I'd love to hear. Number 2, start with the non-emotional stuff. Let's not start with the heavy hitters. No, not your wedding album, not your late partner's books, and definitely not your kids' kindergarten art from 1997. That's what I call an emotional ambush. Instead, start with stuff that doesn't make you cry or question your entire existence. Think expired sunscreens or ratty towels. You know the ones that feel soft but should have been retired 5 years ago. This beauty? Yeah, it's headed straight to the local animal shelter. Did you know they're always looking for old towels for bedding and cleanups? It's a great way to repurpose and feel good about doing it. And we have plenty of shelters here in the Denver metro area. Or go for those stacks of CDs that you haven't played since Spotify came out in 2008. Or knickknacks with no story. Or custom jewelry that's lost its sparkle. Or even mismatched dishes you're not using and probably never will. Now, I'm not talking about Aunt Edith's fine china or the family silver passed down through generations. I'm talking about the random stuff that's just taking up space and collecting dust. One of my friends recently hosted a garage sale with a purpose, and the purpose was really clearing out all of her clutter, plus the stuff she no longer felt she needed. Yeah, she gave amazing deals because she just didn't want to haul all of that stuff into her next adventure. Someone walked away with a 4-year-old sewing machine for $20 and a huge smile. Now that's a win-win. So whether you're donating or selling, think of it as gifting someone else with the things that no longer serve you. You're not losing, you're lightening your load. And number 3 is phone a friend. And no, not to dump your junk on them. Tempting, I know. Call them to keep you company, to keep you focused, and maybe to keep you from sitting cross-legged on the floor reading every book you meant to get to back in 2004. And then give them some context. I'm trying to clear this shelf. If I start talking about how I might need these curtain rods someday, just give me the look. A good friend will keep you from spiraling into that, maybe I'll use this someday trap and help you stay focused on what you really want to bring into your future space. And then number 4 is set a timer. Seriously, this one works like magic. Set a timer, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes tops, and tell yourself, that's it, I'm doing 1 drawer, 1 shelf, or 1 box. Because let's be real, you didn't collect all this stuff overnight, and you're not going to Marie Kondo your entire house in one afternoon, no matter what those other YouTubers tell you. Give yourself permission to start small, make a dent, then walk away. Go take a break, play with the dog, sit on the patio with something iced. You can always come back to it later, and it'll feel a lot less overwhelming when you do. All right, so those are the usual suspects. Solid, simple, and yes, they really do work. But sometimes you need something a little more creative, especially when you're alone sweating through another Denver summer and the clutter isn't helping you. It's giving you attitude, like it has opinions about staying. So let me share a few tricks that help me actually make progress with a cart full of books and a very real identity crisis in my basement. That's when I realized I wasn't just clearing out stuff, I was deciding what belongs in my next chapter. So here are 4 unusual but super helpful decluttering tips. 1. one. Curate, don't just toss. Let's stop calling this decluttering and start calling it curating. Because you're not cleaning house, you're building your next chapter. Ask yourself, what belongs in my new life starter kit? Is this something that reflects who I am now, or is something that made sense in a version of myself that I've already lived and outgrown? When I went through my basement, I had books on triathlon training, advanced exercise physiology, and let's not forget the nutrition books for racing performance. Once upon a time, that was me, racing, training, and overanalyzing my hamstrings. But now, I'm 20 years deep in real estate in Denver, Colorado, and my favorite kind of sprint is when a great listing hits the market, and I've got to book a showing before noon. What did make the cut for me? My real estate strategy books, my home design inspiration, travel guides to places I still have on my bucket list, and yes, a few of my favorite mystery novels I fully intend to reread one snowy Colorado day. Curate your collection like you're packing for your next adventure. What tells a story of who you are now and who you're becoming? 2, use the would I pay to move this test. Here's a brutally effective way to decide if something stays or goes. Would I actually pay somebody to wrap, box, lift, and truck this to my next place? Picture this, it's moving day, and you're writing a check to the moving company. Is this item worth part of that bill? If not, then it's already likely served its purpose, and it doesn't need to follow you into your future. And trust me, there's nothing like imagining paying $12.50 to relocate a chipped fondue pot to really put things in perspective. Number 3 is give it a job or let it go. Yeah, no, here's something I've come to believe. Every item in your home should have a job. Now, it should either serve a purpose, it's something that you need or that you use hopefully daily or weekly or at least monthly. Or it should bring you comfort because of the story attached to it. Or it should spark joy. Yep, I said it. And if it's just sitting there taking up space and making you feel guilty or overwhelmed every time you walk by, that's not a job, that's emotional clutter. And I've got plenty of that in my own basement. Likely you have some of it too. I'm still deep in the middle of my own decluttering process, and let me tell you, there's no shortage of items down there that silently judge me from the shelves. Things like triathlon books, gear, and even some trophies from a chapter in my life that's long since closed. Books that once lit a fire in me now just whisper, you should still be that person every time I walk by. And I don't know about you, but I don't need to shit on myself, right? You don't either. Bins of someday stuff that, if I'm being honest, I haven't needed in over a decade. So when I pick something up, I ask myself, do you still have a role in my life now, or are you just reminding me of someone that I used to be? That question has helped me let go of things that were quietly weighing me down. And for the record, no, I didn't toss all those books in the trash. I donated them. They'll hopefully land in someone else's hands who is in that season of life. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're making space, physical and emotional, for what comes next. So I thank those items for their service, and I send them off to inspire somebody else. Number 4 is let guilt go out with the donation bags. We've all heard the little voice, but this was expensive. My friend gave this to me. I might use this someday. Yeah, let's replace guilt with generosity. That pricey thing you've never used? Yeah, somebody else might actually need it. That sweater from your sister-in-law that still has the price tag? Somebody will be thrilled to find it at Goodwill. And that shopping cart full of books that I donated? It wasn't just decluttering, it was liberating. Someone else is going to discover something new for them because I made space for me. So yes, say goodbye, kindly, but say it, and then let the donation truck carry the guilt away with the clutter. Look, I've been in real estate here in the Denver metro area for over 20 years, and I've helped a lot of women sort through emotional chaos of preparing a home for sale. But let me be honest, I'm not immune to the landmines either. For years, my basement looked like a mix between a triathlon training center and a university library. Race medals, training logs, stacks of books on physiology, nutrition, and recovery techniques I haven't used since the Bush administration. At one point, that stuff reflected who I was, a driven athlete chasing finishing lines. But now I'm focused on helping women move forward, and as it turns out, I have some moving of my own to do. Letting go of those books wasn't just about clearing physical space, which is great to see, by the way, but it was about clearing mental space too. It meant giving myself permission to stop clinging to past identities that don't define me anymore, and making room for the version of me who shows up today. Let's make this easier. If your basement or garage or spare room or entire house feels like a museum of past lives, I see you. That's exactly why I created my Declutter to Distress Colorado Home Sellers Guide. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One shelf, one box, one honest decision at a time. Grab your free copy using the link below. Then start small, maybe with one drawer, one closet, or yes, one shopping cart full of books. And if you'd rather not do this alone, I offer free coffee chats, virtual or in person, where we talk through what stays, what goes, and what this next chapter could actually feel like for you. No pressure, no pitch, just real talk and support from somebody who gets it. You'll find the link for that below too. I'm Peggy Durstoff, a realtor with Live Denver Suburbs, powered by HomeSmart, right here in the Denver metro area. And if this video video gave you a moment of clarity or even just a laugh, go ahead and subscribe. I make these for women like you, strong, smart, solo movers, figuring it out one emotional box at a time. You're not alone, and your next move doesn't have to be overwhelming. We can take it one step or one cart full of books at a time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.